soldier knocked around the whole village but couldn't get a single grain of rice, so he was going to try another way. First he picked up a stone from the side of the road. Then he went into an old man's house. He greeted the old man and saluted him. Then he asked the old man to give him some food to eat. But the old lady said she had no food. She said she didn't have a grain of rice in her house. The neighbors called her a nuisance because she was so poor. The soldier didn't care what he heard. Instead, he told the old man that he had an idea. He took the stone out of his pocket. He said that he could use it to make a delicious soup. Then he put the stone on the table. He also said that he lacked an iron pot. When the old man heard this, he was instantly interested. He rushed back to the house and found some iron pots. The soldier was very pleased, so he chose an iron pot at random. Then he began to act like a movie star. First, he cleaned the stones. Then he put the stones into the pot. In the middle of it, he pretended to use a long-handled spoon to stir the pot. After 2.5 hours of boiling, the soldier took a bowl of soup and put it in his mouth, and said with a frown on his face, "It would taste even better with a little salt." The old man was very curious. He thought a little salt wouldn't hurt. So the old man went to the storeroom and brought the man some salt. And that was that. The old woman was fooled by the man's lie that he used stones to make the soup. When she heard the man say that the soup would taste even better if she added lard to the stone soup, her mind immediately began to wander. She wanted to taste the stone soup, so he went to his secret room and got a big jar of lard, and poured it into the stone soup. The man also knew that the stone soup was only good for its aroma, so he told the old man that when he cooks this kind of soup at home, he always puts in 2 sausages. The soup not only tasted delicious but also had a strong meaty flavor. Your mouth would water so much that it would make you salivate. When the old woman heard this, she instantly forgot her poor persona. She said she had plenty of sausages at home, so she went to the pantry and brought 2 sausages to the man. Sure enough, with the help of the sausages, the aroma of the stone soup became even stronger. The old woman was completely convinced by the man's words. Then the man began to ask for vegetables and fruits. He said that these would make the soup taste fresh and fragrant. The old woman was also fooled by the man's words and her IQ hit rock bottom. Immediately ran into her own vegetable garden and pulled out some fruits and vegetables. The man and the old woman cleaned the potatoes and radishes. They cut them into small, even-sized pieces and threw them into the stone soup. After 2.5 hours of boiling, the man said the stone soup was finally finished. The man brings out a bowl of steaming stone soup. He handed it to the old woman to taste. After drinking it, the old woman said it smelled really good. She said she'd never tasted such good soup in her life. The man took the opportunity to say, if we could add rice to the soup, it would taste even better. Upon hearing this, the old woman took out a jar of rice from the secret room and poured it into the pot. In no time at all, a pot of meat soup and rice was filled with flavor. The man took a bowl full of it and handed it to the old woman. The old woman tasted it and was attracted by its wonderful flavor. She said it was the first time she had ever eaten something so delicious. She was convinced that the stone had magical powers. When they had eaten their fill, the man was about to leave, but the old woman said she wanted to buy the man's stone. The man was very pleased to hear that, but on his face, he had a hard time letting go of the stone. Then he said, because the old woman was so sincere, he said he'd give her a discount of $100, and the old woman agreed happily. And so it was. The man, with his intelligence and acting skills, he successfully filled his stomach, and he got $100. The man took the money and left happily. He picked up a stone. He was going to show the next old man the magic of stone soup. In fact, this was not the soldier's intention. He was a soldier who fought on the battlefield. It was hard for him to return to his hometown after winning the war. But he was so poor. He begged on the streets for food, but people refused. The man had no choice but to change his character. He came up with the idea of cooking soup with stones.